When a narcissist realizes you've become too strong to control, they won't just walk away. They'll often try one last tactic, a final manipulative move designed to pull you back in. It doesn't always look toxic. In fact, it might seem like a crisis, a confession, or even love. But Carl Jung warned us, when a manipulator can't dominate you directly, they'll come in sideways, through guilt, vulnerability, or nostalgia. This is the last trick they use when they sense they've lost their grip on you. And if you're not aware of it, you might confuse it for care. According to Jung's research on the shadow self, narcissists project their own weakness onto others to maintain an illusion of superiority. But when you start healing, when you begin setting boundaries and refusing to play their games, something shifts in their psyche. Jung called this the power inversion crisis. Narcissists aren't just looking for someone to love them. They're hunting for someone to control, someone whose energy they can feed off of. Here we introduce you to the 5 stages of a narcissist. Stage 1. They feel you becoming immune. At first, they sense something has changed. You don't react the same way. You don't chase them anymore. You've stopped justifying yourself or over-explaining. This shift threatens their sense of control. Carl Jung described this kind of dynamic as a power reversal, when a person who was once dominant starts feeling small in your presence. And narcissists don't handle that well. But instead of confronting it openly, they begin to test your strength quietly. Stage 2. Subtle shaming begins. Once they see you're serious about your growth, they'll start using small, critical remarks to make you question it. You've changed, but not in a good way. You used to be so sweet. You're acting distant. You think you're better than everyone now? These aren't random comments. They're targeted projections. Carl Jung explained that projection is when someone takes an aspect of themselves they can't face, like insecurity or shame, and attributes it to someone else. They're not really criticizing you. They're reacting to how your strength exposes what they haven't developed in themselves. And if you don't take the bait, they escalate. Stage 3. They try to pull you back emotionally. When criticism fails, they try something more subtle. They reach for your heart. They remind you of the good times. They say things like, "I miss the old you. Remember how happy we used to be? You used to understand me." This isn't about love. It's about control disguised as connection. Jung would say they're not reaching out to reconnect with you. They're reaching for the version of you who once tolerated their behavior. They want access to that version again, and they're hoping nostalgia will get you to hand it over. Stage 4. They play the victim. If pulling your emotions doesn't work, the final move is more dramatic. They become the one who's suffering. Suddenly, they're facing a crisis, a family issue, a health scare, a mental breakdown, and they time it well, right when you've detached, right when you're moving on, right when you're starting to feel peace. Now they say, "I need you. You're the only one who's ever cared. I know I made mistakes, but I'm scared. I'm alone." This is what Jung would call manipulated empathy, not authentic vulnerability, but a performance carefully designed to reopen the emotional bond they lost. And it works, especially if you haven't yet learned to set firm emotional boundaries. Stage 5. The trap is set. Here's the painful truth. Sometimes the narcissist doesn't wait for a real crisis. They create one. They stir up conflict. They destroy their own stability. They sabotage themselves just to draw you back in. Because the real goal isn't reconciliation. It's control through chaos. And they know exactly which part of you is still vulnerable. The part that wants to be the helper, the healer, the savior. Carl Jung warned that until we make the unconscious conscious, it will rule our lives, and we will call it fate. And if you're not conscious of this pattern, You'll keep falling into it, thinking it's compassion, when it's really a trap. If you've seen this pattern before, drop a comment and say, "I've lived it. I see it now." The way out. Healthy compassion. There's a kind of compassion that doesn't cost you your peace. Jung called it individuation, the process of becoming whole by knowing who you are and who you are not. And once you know, you no longer confuse guilt with love. You no longer trade your clarity for their comfort. You can care about someone's pain without sacrificing your healing. You can say, "I hear you, but I won't betray myself again," and mean it.